King Song KS18L. And they should have modified the foam so that it will not accidentally turn on. And looks like they did. Looks like they did that. So here is this is heavy. Here it is, KS18L. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. And it goes on. All right. So I've actually ridden this around my neighborhood for about 10 minutes, and I've already updated the software to version 1.07. I've turned off the lift sensor, and this is the first time I'm going to be using this. Not bad. I still have the QC thing here. Let me just remove it. There you go. Put it in my pocket for good luck. I'm going to try again. And I must say, this thing is so stable compared to my other wheel. So far, first impressions, I'm really liking this wheel. This is a lot more stable than my KS14C. Going at this speed, it doesn't seem that fast. I really like it. It is so much more stable. And it was very easy to basically get into the KingSong app after all the trouble that's been happening the past 3 weeks. My other friends who had opted to get their first batch KS18L via air freight, a couple of them had some issues, and other people from around the world have had issues with their hardware and the firmware. So since the 1.07 and all the talk on the forums, I was very wary. So I updated to version 1.07. I turned off the lift sensor, and I went through this KingSong agreement through the app, where it allowed me to be an experienced user, and I didn't have to go through the obligatory 5 kilometers traveled before it released me from the limit of the factory max speed of 20 kilometers per hour. I was able to set my speed setting. First beep, I set it at 32. Second beep, I set it at 35. Third beep, I set it at 38, and the tilt back I set at 39 kilometers per hour. Not bad. As I'm whizzing through the street here in my town, I see people staring at me, looking at me. Most of the people around here have never seen an electric unicycle, but I'm just having a blast riding away, and it's an amazing feeling. Had not ridden an electric unicycle for about 4 months. It was kind of weird at first to get back into the EUC mode, but once I started riding again, it all came naturally. So anyway, when I got my KS18L, I was really excited, and amazing machine. So I didn't even bother charging it up. I just went on the 50% battery that it factory came with. So I decided to go in the grass, and I was amazed at how stable it was with a bigger wheel compared with my KS14C going over the same terrain. It was much more smoother on the KS18L, and I felt like I could go much more faster. I had actually fallen on grass, and there was some pipe in the grass and I had fallen forward on the KS14C, and that's when I decided, you know what, time to get a bigger wheel. And I think if I had gone over that same small pipe on the grass, I don't think I would have fallen forward. And I am glad I made the switch to a bigger wheel. The transition was not that hard at all. I mean, it's a little more wieldy, less maneuverable, but with a little more hip action, it's really not that bad. And when I get used to it more, I'm sure it will just be as nimble as my KS14S. You definitely will use a slightly different set of muscles compared to the KS14S. I notice I tend to use my hips more when I turn. I am using the same path that I've always used with my 14-inch wheel, and amazing difference. Much more easier to climb up the slope, smoother, and just amazing. It was one of those moments when you actually get a positive comment. Having ridden this for quite some time, 3 years now, I've had people screaming at me, insulting comments. Some are pretty funny. I've been called psycho. I've been called nuts. I've been called maniac. But there are times when I do get a compliment like, wow, that's so cool. Where'd you get that thing? That's amazing. Or is that a hoverboard?
I got some fans.
Well, that's the end of our ride. If you like, please click like and subscribe.